Good morning, students. I hope all of you are well and safe and healthy. So the revision week is over now, and with new week we are going to begin new lesson. So we are going to begin Unit 7. Here you see. From Unit 7 we will begin Chapter 29, that is the Great War. And today we will cover Lesson 1, that is Marching Towards War. And you will find this lesson on page 841, that is 841. So you must have to start reading your books, because I told you no more notes. So here I'm going to explain important things, but the rest you will study in great detail with your books. So first lesson is Marching Towards War, and in this lesson you will learn about the beginning of World War I, and we will also discuss important details regarding it. So World War I began in 1914. You should know when did this war begin. So it began in 1914 after the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand of Austria. He was a leader and lasted until 1918. So during the conflict, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria and Ottoman Empire, these are the central powers, they fought against Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Japan and the United States, the Allied powers. And what was the cause? The real cause of World War I included politics, secret alliances, imperialism and nationalistic pride. So these were the real causes of World War I. Now we have rising tensions in Europe. So many people in Europe had joined groups to work for peace. However, developments would soon lead Europe into war. And one of those developments was nationalism. What is nationalism? We all know what is nationalism. It's a deep feeling of attachment to one's own nation. So this force, like this feeling, helped unify the people of a country, and it also created competition between the countries. So by 1900, you should memorize the nations. Like 6 nations were rivals for power in Europe, and these nations were also called the Great Powers. And which countries? They were Germany, Austria, Hungary, Great Britain, Russia, Italy and France. Okay, so they competed, these all countries, they competed economically, and they also competed for neighboring land. Imperialism was another force. So another reason was imperialism that helped lead to war. France and Germany were each seeking to control parts of Africa. They almost came to war twice in the early 1900s. Mistrust was a huge problem, and the third factor leading to war was a growing armed race. Each country in Europe except Great Britain, they built a large army. So here we are going to here we will understand what is militarism. The policy of glorifying military power and keeping an army prepared for war was known as militarism. Next we have tangled alliances. So what do you mean? What do you understand by the word tangled? Tangled generally it means like complicated and confused. So tangled is like something confused. Alliances, and what are alliances? These are this term means like alliances are like a union, and this union is generally formed for mutual benefits between the countries. So here you will see that things were confusing and complicated. So growing rivalries led the nations to make military alliances. Prussia Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, he feared that the France would want revenge for its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War. So he set out to isolate France, and he formed a triple alliance with Austria, Hungary and Italy. He also signed a treaty with Russia. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, he did not want to share power with Bismarck. So what he did, he forced Bismarck to resign and followed his own foreign policy. And he let the agreement with Russia end. Russia soon allied itself with France. So this alliance meant that Germany would have to fight enemies on its eastern and western borders if there were a war with either country. So Wilhelm II then moved to make the Germany navy larger. At the end, you will see the Great Britain grew alarmed, and in response to Prussia's move, it entered into the Triple Entente alliance with France and Russia. And the six great powers had now formed two camps: Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy against Britain, France and Russia. So here we have learned two things. That first you have learned that what was Triple Alliance. So Triple Alliance was a military agreement between Germany, Austria, Hungary and Italy. And what was Triple Entente? Triple Entente, it was a military agreement among Britain, France and Russia. Next we will talk about crisis in the Balkans. What is Balkan basically? Where is Balkan? Balkan, geographically, if you see, Balkan is an area in the southeast Europe. So here we will see that what was the conflict in the Balkans. Balkan wars, two successive military conflicts. They were like two successive military conflicts that deprived the Ottoman Empire of almost all its remaining territory in Europe. The first Balkan War was fought between the members of the Balkan League, and which countries comes in Balkan League? Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, Montenegro and the Ottoman Empire. And then we will learn that why was there a crisis in the Balkans. The international crisis provoked by Austria-Hungary through the annexation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, here you say Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay, Herzegovina, and these annexation created a massive shift in the balance of power in the Balkans, both among the Balkan states themselves and between the major powers. So it had been drawn into a turmoil on account of their various treaties. So this was the crisis. So eventually the war set the stage for the Balkan crisis of 1914, and thus it served as an opening to the First World War. And by the early 20th century, Bulgaria, Greece, Montenegro and Serbia, they had achieved independence from the Ottoman Empire, but large elements of their ethnic populations remain under Ottoman rule. So at the end, what you are supposed to do, that you are going to read this whole lesson again from your book in great detail, and then the activity for today is to answer these questions. Few questions I made, but you will also find more questions at the end of the chapter in assessment section. So what you have to do, you have to prepare these questions for today's, that is your today's task. Like few questions like, why didn't peace last in Europe? What were the three factors leading to war, and what caused countries to fear one another? What was the reason? And what part did the Balkans play in the increasing tensions? Why was there a crisis in Balkans? What was triple alliances? We just have learned it. And triple entente. Okay, entente, triple entente. And then at the end we have what two groups of nations developed. So this is your task for today, and meantime, take good care of yourself. I will see you again with a new lesson. Take care. Bye bye.